So in the one video that we talked about cutting fabric and cutting triangles. This is specific to the pinwheel in the Farmhouse Floral Mini Quilt. So these blocks are specific to that. Okay, the sizes. I didn't really name sizes in the last one, but this one goes to the pinwheel for the block. And once you cut your squares, okay, so you subcut the squares from your fabric after you align it and trim off the raggedy edges, you know, the uneven edges. And then once you have your, now this is 3 3/8 for the pinwheel, and you're going to need 6 of your colors for this. And I don't think I mentioned it, if you're a really beginner quilter, when you have the fabric and you are meeting the selvages up, you know, you're getting when you subcut it, you've got 2 blocks, right? 2 strips. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. So when the instructions say to cut a strip, you're actually cutting 2. You're cutting 2. Okay, so we've cut our blocks 3 3/8. Now we're going to put these into triangles. Cut these into triangles. Remember, make sure everything is nice and lined up and your points are right on the line there. Okay, and put these aside, and you're going to do this to each block. Okay, so now we've cut out all of our triangles for the pinwheel block, which is this block right here. Now what I suggest you do is print out your diagram. Everybody has a diagram in the class portal. This is your pinwheel block right here. So these are these blocks right here. These would be your 3 3/8, okay? And I always just write mine on there so I can actually visualize, because what we're going to do is we're going to just lay these colors out. This is a good diagram to take with you when you go to buy fabric. You can just kind of visualize where you want to put everything, and you can see how many different fabrics, and you don't have to use as many different fabrics if you don't want to, as long as you coordinate them out a little bit, so there's no reason to do well, anyway, okay, so we'll move on. I don't want to get too technical. Anyway, so take this with you and pick out your fabric. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay out the block to make sure it's, visually pleasing. You always want to do that, and, rearrange your fabrics a little bit before you start sewing, just in case. So let's look at this and see. And it looks like I have this here. So we'll just these together, and then we've got this one up here, okay, and then a pink. So you just want to lay it out. I had laid out one of the blocks that I had made, and it sure didn't look right. It was a little bit too big. It's another good reason to lay everything out. And then this. And then we have one of these. Oh, where's that? Okay, here we go. And it looks like I have, no, one of these. And then this one. Okay, so there you go. There's one pinwheel. And so then you can lay out the other one, and the other one will be, diagonal to it. Let's lay out next to it. Why don't we go ahead and lay out a block? So now we've got one of these here, and this here. You have to remember these are all going to be sewn together. And let's see, one of these. And this one here. These are your 3-inch blocks, okay? So when you finish sewing these together, these will create 5.5 inch blocks, okay? 5.5 inch blocks. So you just kind of want to lay it out, lay your other ones out. We're not going to worry about right this second about the borders, which are white. We have white, and then we have we'll do the borders here in a minute. So anyway, that's how you want to do it. And then, so we're going to take this to the sewing machine now. And of course, when you look at it, I'm going to pull these apart. We're going to put these on top of each other, just like this. Okay. Now, actually, okay, I'm telling you to do a bad thing here. For beginners, what we want to do is once you do that, okay, once you put that over, just pin it. Just pin it. It's a good habit. I don't think you're going to sew the wrong side on this, okay, because it's the long side, but just pin it and make sure that everything's nice and even. But that's just a good habit to get into. It's just pinning as you lay them together. Because like with a square, you know, if you don't pin it, you could accidentally just sew the wrong side together, and then your whole design is messed up, right? So we'll just pin it. You're going to do this to both pinwheels and both 4 blocks, okay? The 4 block square. I don't know what else to call it. Okay. Just like that. And you're going to do these. So now the side that I need to pin is this side. Right here. That is the side that you want to sew. Your pin marks the sewing side. And just like that. Now, just repeat that for the pinwheel and the 4 block for the other 2. Okay, do that right now.